Okay, we are live. How's everybody doing today?
Good, good. How about yourself? Busy as I'm sure you are, but how about yourself?
I can't complain. I mean, weather's good, spring's here, the grass is growing. I got the lawnmower all greased up, got the blades sharpened. I'm ready to. is that is that is that boring to talk about? I'm excited. I can't wait to mow the
No,
grass.
it's fun. So you have a riding mower?
Zero turn radius.
No way.
Of course.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
It's
Those are
awesome.
fun.
Let's talk a little bit about the team. Can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Tony, so would you like each team member to go over their own introduction or one person to introduce the other team members
Uh,
or
I,
whatever we want to do?
Yeah, I think you start with you and then just pass it off to the
Okay,
next guy and then, let them do it.
totally. Okay. Yeah, for starters, hello everyone. Thank you for all joining this call. It looks like we have a pretty good turnout, 41 folks. And my name's Polar, and I'm the operations manager for Spear Finance. A little bit about myself, my background. I am a veteran from the United States Air Force, and I have a Bachelor of Science and am a serial entrepreneur with business experience in a variety of different backgrounds. I got into crypto back in 2016 and started trading crypto, and that is originally what let me be able to go full time into crypto, and eventually got into DeFi, and now that's what I do for a living. And just a little fact about myself: I'm 2.5 years clean and sober, and in recovery.
Awesome. Do you want to pass it off to, is it X?
Sure, I could go next real quick. I'm X. I'm part of research and development. I was first introduced to crypto market 2 years ago. Since then, I've spent 14 to 16 hours a day, every day researching, studying, investing successfully. I created multiple businesses that all involve crypto, as well as a self-taught, profitable crypto trader.
I think you're up next, Tony. Marbles, can you weigh in while he gets his mic
There
ready?
you go. Yeah, I am on the development side of things, mostly web side. Uh, Studied physiology and neuroscience in university, but I ended up finding a passion for software development shortly after that. Yeah, I've built up a few businesses. I work as a CTO for a few other companies. I just really love being on the edge of things, so naturally fell into crypto. Yeah, that's the skinny of it.
So, which one of you guys writes the equations?
We have a contractor for that who his list of achievements is longer than all of ours combined, I'm sure.
Yes.
I got you. And are you also contracting out the artwork,
Yes, we are.
web design,
Yes.
all that stuff? Yeah, that stuff's it's difficult to find. Is Tony uh, uh, not going
How's your mic
to?
doing, Tony?
Tony, you muted.
That's okay. Let me talk about fear versus greed. Since most of you probably are hearing about us for the first time today, we are a research group. I write a weekly sort of newsletter outlining all of the launches and pre launches that are going to come that week. And then every single day, I write a today's launches article, and it's down and dirty. It just says the, the, the time of the launch. Are there any sell taxes or selling restrictions? And sometimes a little blurb about what it is or just how I'm feeling about it. On top of that, I maintain a spreadsheet where almost at 500 DeFi projects, and I have uh, over 100 members in the group. Chewy here is on the stage with me, and Shoguns is in the audience. These are my team members. I also have two mods, so it's a team of five, and we have over 100 members. And yeah, DeFi moves fast, and we work all day, and we just keep on top of it. Um, Does somebody want to just say a word about Tony, or he can butt in at any time if his mic is working?
Yeah, so Tony can't hear anybody right now, and he's trying to fix that.
Well, that's all right. Just tell us who he is.
I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay.
Tony, can you give
Sorry.
yourself a little introduction?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Did you already do the introductions for all of you?
We did. We did. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so my name's Tony, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. I guess I've started, grown, funded, scaled, exited a number of companies. And while this is sort of my first time launching a token, I have consulted for many projects in the crypto space for a while now. Really got involved in the crypto space deeply about 7-ish years ago. Initially just learning and investing until getting started and getting involved on the project creation side as a contractor mainly. And while many of my past companies have done well, I'm now sort of fully shifted into the crypto space. Yeah, so that's, I guess, a little bit about my background. I guess on the founding side, sort of went from entrepreneur and starting of the companies more into the fundraising space and investing space, and then sort of segued into crypto from there. But that's a little bit about me.
Thank you so much. So who's doing the smart contract coding?
The smart contract coding is our Solidity dev, and he did not join us today. He's busy smart contract coding. No, I don't he's not on the call today though, I guess is the point.
I gotcha. So I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I spent a lot of time last night learning about Elephant. I also read all the materials that you guys had available, and I don't know if most of the audience members probably know that Elephant, man, they blew up recently, and so you guys are right on time with Spear. So congratulations on that. I mean, your timing couldn't be better.
Thank you. Yeah, we're really pleased with how that worked out, and we're excited to walk through sort of how that started and the differences and the direction that we're taking that. But yeah, the whole thing's very exciting. Thank you.
Yeah. First things first. Let's talk about pre-sales dates and times, public launch date and time. What can you give us to go on today?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, we are not releasing the actual launch date. We can say that we're not going to make everyone wait till May for the launch. We're not going to release the specific launch date just yet, but it will be very soon. And we're actually leaning in the direction of not doing a pre-sale, and instead we're going to be using airdrops in a variety of different ways to engage with whitelisted members and different community members and people that have been helping along the way.
Okay, cool. And I should apologize because I did do all this research, but I think it would be better if you guys went ahead and explained. I guess I'll start. I mean, you have a stable coin called Gladiator, and that's backed by mostly some stable coin, but it's also partially backed by your second token, Spear, which is your rewards token. Am I correct so far?
Yeah,
Exactly.
do you mind if I just jump in and give a little bit of sort of the full background on the project and what we're doing here?
Please, go for it.
So we are creating basically a full financial ecosystem from the ground up that really strives to afford financial opportunity to every stratum in the community. We believe that the tremendous value that's derived from the creative visions of our collective innovation should not be limited to the bankers and the venture capitalists of the very archaic infrastructures that we're aiming to replace. So Spear basically creates a financial bridge between the users and creators of groundbreaking technologies that are changing our world. So affording the opportunity for those who create, those who use, those who facilitate to be those who benefit the most from these projects. So our goal really is to achieve market-leading investment returns on our treasury investments while expanding the Spear financial ecosystem and giving all gladiators an opportunity to get involved within their personal risk tolerance. So to do that, we basically pulled together a bunch of different pieces here. So at its core, we're a Web 3.0 decentralized protocol ecosystem that simultaneously provides meaningful investments to digital currency entrepreneurs who embrace our vision and meaningful financial opportunities to token holders, or gladiators as we call them. And just like you said, Spear Finance is a fork of Elephant Money built on Avalanche. So there's a couple components here. The ones that you were sort of referencing are, we have a stable coin that we call Gladiator. And then we also have a utility token called Spear. And it's how we tie all of those together within sort of the infrastructure with sort of an investment backing, sort of similar to how a VC firm can work. We make all this possible and sort of work as a complete ecosystem.
So what are my choices on launch day in terms of, I mean, should I buy Gladiator coins? And then tell me about my choices, and then from the perspective of what is the most 3-3 strategy, and if you don't know what I mean by that, ask.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So really what it comes down to is there's three main options of like ways to earn, as an example. And so one of the things, and actually let me just address the sort of 3-3 strategy real quick, because that is a very important piece to us. We've actually taken a lot of time to sort of deviate from what even Elephant Money has done, but many other people as well, in developing something that can continue to generate wealth and a return for people, even if no new members are joining the community. And so what we mean by that is, while it is better if sort of everyone wins at the same time, it's really important to us that even when it doesn't go that way, if you're in the community, you're still being able to have these wins and to gain. And so there are three options. So within the Gladiator stablecoin, I'll talk about that first. There's one option. So first off, if you buy, and it's also important to understand that this was sort of developed so that no matter where you are in sort of comfort level with this tolerance, there's always something for you. So whether you're the type of person who wants to buy a stable coin and wants to be a little bit insulated from market conditions and just receive a passive reward on that stable coin, that's really where the Gladiator stablecoin comes into play, and just staking that is enabling you to get passive rewards on your stablecoin. And then within the Spear coin, we are able to do two different things. So one is just holding the Spear coin will give you passive rewards the exact same way that it works with Elephant Money. So you don't have to stake it, you don't have to do anything special. Just holding it, you can receive 5% of distributed rewards on every buy, sell, and transfer that's taking place with Spear. So that grows by itself. We also have taken the concept that Elephant Money started with bonding, and we've sort of taken that to the next level. And so what we like to call it is sort of our bonded yield assets. So what we've done is we've actually merged the concept of bonding, where you're actually burning these tokens, and typically there's no way to get back your initial investment on that. And we've merged this concept with the concept of NFTs. And so down the line, we'll actually issue these NFTs to everyone who has bonded, basically turning this into a yield asset that's much more similar to like rental property, as an example, where it's something that you own. You can sell it on the open market, you can sell it, buy it, transfer it, so it has a value to it. But then as you own it, it's continually getting rewards for the next 10 years. And I say 10 years, and that's probably the first time you've heard of that, because I don't think that we've mentioned that online yet, but a huge piece of what we're doing here is there's actually a 10-year timeline for this entire project, which is the first time something like this has been done. So this project is not going on indefinitely. There specifically, it will run for 10 years, and then it will stop at the end of those 10 years, which is a huge piece of the puzzle here. Because one, we're able to calculate exactly the number of rewards that we're giving out every single day over those 10 years. There's no tokenomics issue of those running out if X, Y, and Z happens, unlike with other projects where they, as long as everything goes right, it's okay, but as soon as something goes astray, the whole thing falls apart. So we've been able to calculate exactly within those 10 years how this is going to work, as well as at the end of that 10 years, there's actually a way to actually a predefined way to distribute the treasury back to those holders of Spear, and a way to actually distribute the profit out of that, which is huge as well. So I can go into any piece of that there, but I guess that's a general understanding. Let me know what you're interested in hearing more about.
Do we know what the stable coin is going to be? I mean, not Gladiator, but is there going to be, is it USDC?
Yeah, so we are going to be using USDC as the purchasing mechanism for the stablecoin. And the purchasing mechanism for the Spear token, we've actually recently decided to shift it over, and we're actually going to be using AVAX for that directly.
Oh, that's pretty neat. So
As far as the pairing. Yeah, and a little bit on the USDC portion. Originally, we were going to go with MEM, and a big concern with that is, how long has MEM been around, and how long has USDC been around, and that was that helped a lot in our decision. We want something that's going to be around for a while. I'm not saying that MEM's not going to be around for a while. I love the project. It's native to Avalanche. All those reasons are reasons we wanted to go with MEM, but we want something. We want it to be as reputable as possible for our community, and that's why we switched to USDC.
gotcha.
As well as the quantity of the quantity of holders of those assets, right? It's really important to us that we're sort of cutting down on additional fees that someone might incur by having USDC, buying MIM just to buy Gladiator, and so we want to cut down on that. And so since there is so much more USDC that's owned out there, we thought that might help things a little bit.
So if I'm holding Gladiator and I'm receiving rewards, are those rewards in Gladiator, Spear, USDC, or what?
Yeah, the rewards are given out in the Spear token.
And if I'm holding Spear,
So
are the
Gladiator-
rewards also in Spear?
Yes, they are.
And you stake
Yeah. So if you're holding Gladiator,
you stake Gladiator, but you only have to hold Spear, right?
That's correct. Yes.
I'm getting it. This is
Yes.
elementary
for some people, but just not for me. I apologize.
No, it's no problem at all, and
No.
and I think that given the speed at which our community has taken off, and how quickly we are trying to get some of these pieces out, I mean, our white paper right now is just sort of rounding its review process. So hopefully we'll be able to send that out very shortly. Again, it's just starting to be reviewed, and that's going to help answer a lot of the questions that people are asking. It's a pretty in-depth white paper that goes into a lot of detail, and so hopefully there'll be a lot of questions that are answered when we put that out there.
Gotcha. And that'll be out, you said, very soon?
Yep, absolutely.
Well, I think we, for my part, we're about out of the weeds as far as the actual technical understanding of the project. Let's pivot to like an open-ended question. Can X or Marbles chime in here? Just make a wild prediction about DeFi in, 2 years, 5 years, 20 years. Let your imagination run wild. There's X.
Marbles, you want to take it, or man, 20 years is a long time. We really can't tell. In 20 years, to be honest, I think crypto is going to be the world power, right? I think we're going to shift into a new token, a token that is not controlled by a central government. In the next 20 years, I think it's going to be really bad, but in the next 5 years, I think it's going to be really good. I think everybody's going to make a lot of money.
Do you think that Shiba Inu
it's good to be
will
in now for the
in
next 5
Bitcoin's
years.
position?
I'm sorry?
Do you think that Shiba Inu will overtake Bitcoin?
My thoughts about Shiba is that they're starting to innovate with the metaverse, and they have a lot more going on. But Bitcoin, I don't know about that.
Well, take it a year from now, Marbles. What do you think is going to be going on in DeFi? I mean, do you think that DeFi is going to continue to grow 50% per year like it has? Um, and I'm not biased. I mean, if you said it's going to grow 200%, that's not unreasonable. The DeFi space is exploding right now.
I mean, yeah, I would expect it to at least grow at the similar rate it's at. There's no reason it shouldn't. That's how I feel. There's no reason it should go anywhere but up at this point.
This question is
I think if you also just look at it from a perspective of amount of money that is entering this space, it almost necessitates it going at a pretty crazy rate, just by the amount of people entering and the amount of dollars coming into it.
yeah, I think it was 56% in the last 12 months, which is insane, considering that DeFi is already bigger than NFTs. I mean, some people would put NFTs in decentralized finance, but let me ask you guys a more specific question. Let's bring it back to reality. What is the biggest challenge that Spear is running into? Can you guys speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think time is easily the most significant challenge that we've been faced with. We are, we're working to try to launch a project in a reasonable timeline, while at the same time we want a number of checks and balances to make sure that we're launching something that is going to be sustainable, that's going to, last for the full 10 years that the project's slated to run for. And so there's this fine line between getting something out there quickly and making sure that it's secure and is not going to have any issues and is actually going to make it. And luckily for us, we've been working on this for a long time now, and sort of merging the pieces and forking off of elephant money is a newer component of that. But the general structure we've been working on as a team for a long time now, and so we do have that advantage. But time is always a component, and especially now that we've launched our community and are starting to gain traction there, there's even more of an impetus to just get things out as quickly as possible. And we do have to just keep in mind that we need to be patient, and we need to make sure that we're not cutting any corners. We need to do things properly, and that's always better than putting something out early that's going to fail.
Did you want to? I feel like Polar wanted to say something about the biggest challenge.
The biggest challenge, yeah, I completely agree with Tony. We are trying, we're working, as fast and as hard as we can to get something out for our community. We hear what people say. They want something and they want it now, and we very much hear that. But we're trying to do it right. We're trying to bring out a quality product. And I would say another piece that is a big challenge for us as a team would be the component that our Solidity dev is taking care of, as well as the dApps. I mean, this is not an easy contract to fork. This is not, the dApps aren't easy to recreate. We're very fortunate that we have such good developers on the team that are competent in that area, and I think that's something that our team brings to the table that you know other teams don't. And it's, I guess it shows itself. There's not 100 elephant forks popping up right now because it's not an easy system to fork.
Yeah, give it 4 months. You'll have a
Yeah, it'll come.
you'll have a peak, and then I wonder what it'll be next. I mean, there was a Node season, a Titano season. We're entering Elephant season, and it's anybody's guess. This is a question from Shogun, who again is one of my team members. What is the role of community in your project?
Yeah, I can speak a little bit towards that. So we actually have a few different ways in which community is folded into the project. So aside from the initial launch and the way that community is worked into almost every DeFi launch, we're also going to be utilizing the community within the investment side of things as well. So we're launching a DAO right off the bat. So our goal is to put this in the hands and in the control of the community. and set up the initial infrastructure, set up the initial sort of operations and the way it works, and then let them take it and run with it in terms of making the main decisions. So one is sort of like operationally directing the project. But two, as we're starting to make investments, the community is going to be a crucial piece in that. Not only in vetting those, but we plan on investing in defined companies that currently have revenue streams that are doing well as normal companies and that just are about to be launching sort of Web3 versions of their companies. And we've chosen this for an initial route for a couple of reasons, but it's a very safe way to invest initially because these are defined companies. You know, we don't have to be as worried about rug pulls from them or anything like that. And we can invest in them for pre-minted tokens and help to launch and get their products off the ground. And our community is going to be huge in helping to get their tokens launched and to help push them and to get them off the ground and to get them to a stable place before we're able to exit to make the profit for our project and for the community. So we're sort of using the community that gets involved to ensure the success of our projects and our portfolio companies as well.
Right. Just jumping in really quickly because of the community talk. With one question. That I think quite a number of people are curious about. How would the whitelist roles, if you guys can review it yet or a little bit, like the Alpha Gladiators, the Arena Masters, how would they be involved, and how can they? What are the rewards for these whitelist roles? Because you mentioned that you'll be rewarded in a slightly different way than the traditional early access people.
Yeah, that's a great question, Chewy. I've definitely seen a lot of questions like that in the chat. So as far as Alpha Gladiators and Arena Masters, they're and I've told them before in the chat that they're basically equal. One's not better than the other. So, and they will be rewarded in an airdrop as opposed to a whitelist or pre-sale, since we're not going that route. But it will be an airdrop after launch, and I won't say too much more about it, but I will say that we do have in mind that we don't want this airdrop to negatively affect price either. So that is definitely in our minds for that.
So it's a flexible airdrop, and you guys are going to basically try to do what is healthiest for the protocol and best for everybody. But it'll be dynamic, correct?
Yeah, to some degree. I mean, it is actually going to be a fairly defined airdrop, which we're just not releasing the details of quite yet. And we also, I mean, there's two main concerns here that are important to us. One is being able to properly remunerate and thank everyone that has been crucial in getting this project off the ground, including the Alpha Gladiators and everyone who's on the whitelist and really everyone. So making sure that they get something out of it is crucial to us. At the same time, we need to keep an eye on sustainability always and make sure that it's not something that could have a negative effect on the price of the token. And so those are the two pieces that we're really balancing as we finalize the gameplay for that.
Okay, that makes sense to me. Chewy, did that answer your question?
Yeah, it was great, because I think a lot of people, in my conversations with people about Spear, that is, they've always had this question. So I think it's good that we sort of cleared it up at this AMA. So it's alpha news.
Here's a good question.
That's right.
This person asks, and I can't read their name. It looks like Wingdings. You guys know what Wingdings are? It says, do you have any future partners that you haven't announced yet? Can we get any exclusive partner announcements on the AMA?
So we do absolutely have future partners that we haven't announced, but unfortunately we cannot we cannot drop those today.
See, I'm gonna get a soundboard set up so that when somebody answers a question like that, I can get like an audience sigh.
That's fair.
It's like the big red button.
That's right. That's right. Here's a question. How come you guys went with MIM and not something else? And you guys already answered that. Okay, this question has been asked so many times. I almost wanted to ask it first. And I know you guys have already answered this question in many ways, but break it down for us again. If somebody were to say, yes, I know what Elephant is, great project, how are you different?
Yes, absolutely. So how are we different from Elephant Money, I think is definitely the question that we get all the time. So I'll just go through a very quick list. So one is that we've worked a sustainability model into the entire thing. So we basically worked an entire investment thesis layer similar to like a decentralized VC firm that is the basis for providing returns to investors instead of needing new members to come into the community for old members to make money. So that's the first piece. Secondly, is we've worked in an end date. There is a hard 10-year timeline to this project, which everything is properly spaced out to make it last exactly 10 years. There's also a predetermined profit distribution. So at the end of the 10 years, there's a predetermined way that the profits are going back into the Spear token holders' hands, which is huge. We also are leveraging community to make a profit instead of just to grow the community, which is another piece. We're integrating a DAO. We believe very strongly in sort of what decentralized finance is and is about, and we believe that putting the control into the hands of the community is an important thing to do. We are not locking investment capital. So unlike with the typical bonding that you might see in Elephant Money, that's not investment capital that you can never get back. We are switching that slightly into our bonded yield assets. So while you're still bonding that, you're receiving an NFT, which is transferable, sellable, buyable on an open market, and turning that into an additional asset that you'll have, not just a bond that is burnt and lost forever. There's also no sort of unsustainable APR that changes without notice. So this is basically the new way that we're doing rewards has resulted in still allowing us to do an extremely high APY that is sustainable and built on sort of function that clearly shows where, basically built on an equation, an actual function that clearly shows where we'll be at every point in time in the future. And so you don't have to worry about it changing all of a sudden because we decide it should change. That's not how it works. It's completely built into the code.
What is that APY number?
Yeah, so that changes. So we can calculate that for the first time once we actually launch. But there's a schedule on how it works based on the amount of people, amount of Spear holders, as well as the amount of people bonding who have bonded assets.
Will it be higher than the 0.5% that I get from Bank of America?
So I
It's
can't
gonna be
speak out
tough. That's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry
Yes.
about that.
Ignore that.
Chewy, are you?
Yeah.
Chewy,
Yeah.
can I take a question from the audience, or because Cat has his hand up, and then ZK Legend had his hand up a long time ago. ZK, are you guys ready for that? Polar, Tony?
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Definitely.
Cat, I'm going to call you to the stage. Oh, and I see Johan also has their hand up. Cat, if you are ready, go right ahead.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, Cat.
Thank you guys so much for this AMA. Thanks Fear and Greed for inviting all of us. But yeah, a couple questions that I had was, you said that you had a 10-year runway for your project, which, in crypto is a really long time. I mean, 6 months is a really long time. So would love to hear some of the variables that you've used to calculate your 10-year runway.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can get into this at a high level, and then for all the specifics, it's probably going to be best if you see that in the way that it's outlined in the white paper, because we really go through step by step and through all the details. But let me just scroll to that section. So let's see here. So at a high level, there's a specific portion upfront of Spear tokens that is put into a reward pool from the onset. And that those quantity of tokens, a tenth of that is basically given out each year, and a proportion of that is given out every single day on a daily basis. So the way that it works is based on the total percent of bonded yield assets per gladiator is assessed each day, and then each gladiator is subsequently issued the same percent of that overall reward tokens, which are then distributed daily.
Okay, very nice, very nice. And so with all of that distribution, I mean, have you guys calculated, I guess based on the amount of people that are currently in Discord, how did you guys identify, you know, what that would be on launch?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not only identified for on launch, but it's also been identified for the entire duration of the project, right? And so the way that it actually works is because it is giving out a certain amount of rewards every single day for the next 10 years. And because of how those can be compounded, and because of how just holding Spear in general gives you access to those 5% that's distributed every time there's a sale or transfer or purchase, basically it ends up creating this curve that makes it much more advantageous to be there at the very beginning, because basically the earlier that you can get in and hold this, it really shoots up heavily at the beginning and evens out over the course of time. So again, the white paper will go through all this in detail, but hopefully that can give you sort of a sneak peek of an idea of how it works.
Sure, for sure. Well, thank you for that, and I look forward to kind of diving into the white paper a little bit later. And my
Absolutely.
last question is regarding kind of your bonds and your idea about pairing it with an NFT. So, I mean, I obviously know that this is not a node project, but a lot of the problems that have happened with pairing NFTs with, the past node projects is that when they put NFTs on the marketplace, it creates negative price action. So, how do you think pairing an NFT with the bonds will affect price?
Yeah, absolutely. So so that answer is a little bit technical. Let me see how to walk through that at a high level. So basically, because of the 10-year timeline, that's actually a huge component in this. So because of the 10-year timeline, and that there's a predetermined profit distribution at the end of those 10 years, the way in which those bonded yield assets are actually tied to profits from the treasury is very specific. And not only profits from the treasury, but just cash in the treasury in general, right? And so it really comes down to who's holding that asset at the end of those 10 years. And that key component really changes the economic infrastructure here, because with every other sort of like you're saying, these other projects that have sort of tied to NFTs and those affecting the price, there will still be an effect on the price, but it's changed significantly in that there's a 10-year timeline with a set it's built into the contract exactly what happens at the end of those 10 years.
I'm thinking that not necessarily that the rewards pool or what gets, the rewards portion would be affected, but obviously when you put an NFT that is not sold within maybe your native token, creating less utility for it, and maybe you put it on Tofu NFT and it's sold in like AVAX, that usually has negative price. And so, um, do you think that might affect your guys' price?
Yeah, so I'm not if I'm following exactly what your question is then. But I mean, I think anytime you put an asset on an open market, it's going to sort of be at the whims of market price, and the way in which that's tied into the coin, I mean, it's all going to be tied together and affected. I guess that what you're getting at is that if there's a bonded yield asset for sale, that might be an alternative to someone buying and bonding their Spear tokens. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because if you're not, maybe using the Spirit token to purchase the NFT, this may cause negative price action because there's less utility for the coin.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
that's a
think.
great point. Yeah, Kat, that's a
Go
great
ahead.
point, and we're definitely aware of that. And we haven't fully discussed the sale of NFTs whenever Phase 5 comes out, but whenever that does come out, that's definitely a concern of ours, and we will definitely structure it in a way to keep that in mind. That's definitely a concern.
Yeah, part of it as well is that one of our stages is actually launching a marketplace that these NFTs can actually be sold on, and then working into our contracts a way for us to actually buy these back, which can also help to stabilize that in that we're part of doing that arbitrage, so to speak.
Great, good to hear. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. I really appreciate taking my questions. I know they were a little bit tough, but again, just trying to look out for the longevity of the protocol, and I look forward to joining.
Thank you for that,
Those
Kat.
are really
Absolutely.
good, Kat. Thank you.
for that. So, in just a moment, we're going to take Johan, and then we'll go Azukar and Lola. I wanted to remind everybody, or tell them for the first time, we are going to do a promotion. I'm not sure. Did you guys mention this in your announcement? A 50% off Fear versus Greed membership today only, just for people coming from the Spear Finance Discord. I would be remiss if I did not mention that. Check out our About page. Check out the Become a Member page. And my DMs are always open. After the show, we are going to do a raffle for audience members who participated to be whitelisted with Spear Finance. Once we take care of all of that, I'll go through my DMs and get back to everybody. Nobody who DMs me gets ignored. And with that, Johan, if you are ready, I'm going to... Oh, you're already on the stage. Go ahead and take it away.
I'm already here. Just a quick, first off, I'm definitely looking forward to this project. I love Elephant Money, and I'm really loving what you guys are doing and listening to the different spin that you're doing. I guess my first question is, you were talking about the APY, how it shifts. Can you give me like a worst case scenario, the lowest possible that APY will go, and then, the best case scenario, how high it will go if things are running really well?
So that's really hard to do right now. Again, until the very first day of launching that, we can't start to calculate it because part of the piece is sort of seeing those numbers come in. So that's not something that we can do right now, but that's absolutely something that we're going to make sure there's a ton of transparency on, and something that's at the forefront of what we're showing people as we begin.
Got it. And just to piggyback off of what Kat was talking with the sale of NFTs, I know a lot of protocols will typically some kind of buy tax on the NFT market. If you sell it, a portion of that will go back to the protocol. So that might be an avenue you guys might want to look at as well.
Absolutely. Appreciate that feedback. Thank you.
That's all I had. Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much.
Good questions.
Thanks, Johan.
Azukar, you are up, my friend.
Hey guys, how are you today? Can you hear me okay?
Coming in
Yeah.
nice
Sounds
and
good.
clear.
All right, good, because I am actually coming home from work on the bus. So this is all kind of new to me. I've really just entered the crypto space, honestly, about a couple of months ago. So I'm on crypto overload, and I'm trying to get a couple things clear here on what you're saying and explaining. So when the launch happens, there's going to be the Gladiator coin and the Spear token. Will we have the option of buying both? And should we buy both or one over the other? And what will you be doing with the funds? I don't know if you covered that or if you did, it went over my head. Sorry.
Absolutely. So yes, you can buy one of them, both of them, either of them. That's completely up to you. And it's partially set up this way to allow for variation in risk tolerance and make sure that there's something for everyone. So the stable coin, obviously, it's stable. It's resistant to market fluctuation. And that's a really good option if you want to just hold something that's stable and be able to sit back and receive passive rewards without worrying about your initial investment changing price. So I would say that's the that's probably one of the easier options if you're dipping your toe in the water here. When we get into the Spear side of things, there's two options. So one is that you can hold it, and every transaction, whether it's a buy, sell, a transfer, just like Elephant Money, has a 10% fee, which 5% of which is distributed evenly to all existing token holders. So just holding that Spear token, you're going to benefit from that. And then if you wanted to take that to the next level, you can do our bonded yield asset, in which case you burn the initial starting tokens, and then not only do you get that NFT, which is sellable and on the market, and that is an asset in and of itself, but also you then get access to our reward pool, which gives you Spear rewards for every single day for the next 10 years.
So,
And then
there would be that number of Spear tokens for to buy one of these NFTs per se, right?
I think you might have to start over.
sorry,
I
a
missed
little bit
that.
challenging here.
There would be a set allocation of Spear tokens that you would have to spend or burn for NFTs, correct?
So basically, how it works, and there will be different levels to the bonded yield assets. But basically, how it works is you can bond however much you'd like to, and then based on which you've achieved, that's set the specific level of NFT that you'll be issued. That makes more sense. But we're not releasing the specifics of the bonded yield asset levels until later down the road.
Will we be able to upgrade existing NFTs? Like, let's say we were only able to bond NFT 1. Would we then be able to upgrade NFT 1, 3, 6, or 7 because we had that much more money
Right
to
now,
spend or whatever?
absolutely. So right now, that's part of what we're finalizing, whether there'll be a system to upgrade those versus a system to compound those and just have multiple of the same level. So we're working on that right now, which is part of why we haven't released the full system yet. Again, with everything that we do, we really like to make sure that we iron out the details on how it's going to work and make sure that all of this is built for sustainability, going to last full 10 years. Nothing has any holes or bugs in it before we release it to everyone. So in the proper order here.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, guys. That's all I had. And thank you very much for your time.
Of course, thank you. Appreciate
Thank
the
you,
question.
Azakar. Thank you. Lola, are you ready? And if so, go ahead, take the stage.
Hello, can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes, we can.
Alrighty, well, thank you so much for allowing me to speak. I just had one question. So I'm new to this community and I was just wondering how should I or anybody else that just joined go about getting whitelisted?
Fuller?
Yeah, so if you check the whitelist tab in Spear Finance Discord right now, there's how to whitelist. And we just had our last challenge end today. And that was the first place went to whoever retweeted, tagged, and had the most engagement from a retweet, and then the two most creative retweets, which are going to be voted on by community. I guess what you're asking is, in the future, how can you get a whitelist spot? We do have right now our Shill Army, and you can earn a whitelist spot in the Shill Army. And I would just say stay active in Discord, and we're going to be posting more opportunities to earn that whitelist spot.
And do you guys ever plan on like adding games like Gartic Bot or Royal Rumble to your channel?
So we have been talking to some folks about that. Right now, I'm looking for someone to manage that. So if you're stepping up here, Lola Crypto Bunny, we'd love to have your help with that.
Oh, I would love to. I mean, I'm in other communities as well, and I play those games in those communities for giveaways for whatever. So it's really fun, and I think it's something that everybody in the community would love to do. But I would love to
That
do it.
sounds great. Okay, please send me a friend request after this, and we can chat more about that. But yeah, I'm all for games. It's something that's been coming up. We've just been looking for someone to manage that. But
Yeah,
might
yeah, and I think
hop in there every once in a while.
sorry, my bad. I think it would bring in a lot of
You're good.
people as well.
Okay, cool. Let's collaborate on that then. And for
Great.
stuff like this too, you know, if for community members that step up, and I mean, someone wrote a song about me today, and they wrote a song about Sphere Finance. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was awesome. You know, community members that go above and beyond. You know, just the different 3D graphics that we've been getting. I mean, we have so many talented individuals in our community. They're really stepping up, and stuff like that is what we award whitelist positions for as well.
Right, well, that's all I had. Again, thank you so much for giving me your time, and I cannot wait to see where this project goes. So I wish everybody
Yes.
here the best of luck. Seriously, I do. I pray for everybody here.
Thank you. Love the enthusiasm, Lola, and we'll talk to you after this call.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah,
Thanks, Lola.
I was
I
just-
can't win it. I can't win a Gartic to save my life, by the way. So
I was just thinking, there's room for a new game, a new Discord game. I mean, there's demand for it, and if it was novel and fun, it'd be a huge hit. That was a bit of a non
Okay.
sequitur.
Um,
Chewy, go ahead and I think what's going to happen
No,
is
no, that's
Chewy's going to
good.
do some audience questions. Eventually, we'll circle back around to me, and I'll do a couple more questions, and then hopefully we'll get at least one more audience member to raise their hand, and then we'll try to wrap it up. Chewy, you want to take over?
Perfect.
yeah. Just one from Punch Sperm. Are there plans to maintain consistent buy pressure aside from marketing and any utilities, etc.?
Absolutely. So, in the bonding of the Spear token, so part of how those tokens are being used is to facilitate consistent buy pressure. So yes, there's different places that's tied in, as well as the purchase of the Gladiator stablecoin in general also facilitates consistent buy pressure because 25% of the USDC that's used to purchase those goes into purchasing Spear to hold in the Spear wallet as part of the reserve for those stablecoins.
Right. Okay. So I'm just gonna do a couple of those quick fire ones that I've noticed people keep are asking. So maybe just answer those. Will you have a liquidity lock in place?
Yes,
Sorry, can you
sir.
say that again?
He
Sorry?
asked if we'll have a liquidity lock in place.
Got it. Yes.
Any idea on duration?
We have talked about it. Yeah, we did talk about. I don't know if I should. I don't know if it's like 100% for sure. The amount of time we agreed upon, but I guess I'll just tell you where our mind's at with that. We're just going over all the different scenarios of the longevity of the project, and we're having difficulty coming up with reasons not to lock it for the life of the project. So I guess I'll leave it at that if that clears things up a little.
Yeah,
Nice.
we're very serious about this 10-year timeline, and so tying everything to that is sort of an important piece for us. And we're thinking the same thing for liquidity, although that has not been finalized yet.
Wow. Wow. That's wonderful news. So in terms of KYC and security is always a very big thing these days in the DeFi space. I understand that you've done a KYC. You're gonna do a KYC with Assured. So is there any other measures that you are taking? Any other people like with Obsidian or with another KYC, or how are you guys looking to do it to secure it?
Yeah, that's a great question, and obviously a huge concern in DeFi today. But yeah, Assure DeFi, the four of us here are going to, I think, we'll be completed with that step tomorrow, and then we should be expecting the Assure DeFi NFT soon after. We are talking. I don't want to say any names, but we are talking to some other groups about KYCing directly with them. It's like paid groups that we would KYC with as well. And yeah, so I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's good. We look
Okay,
forward
cool.
to hearing the news from that. Um, okay, so finally the key ones, launch details. Is there anything that you guys can share? A rough timeline that you guys are looking at? Any pre-sale? Fair launch, stealth launch? What are you guys looking at? So yeah, that's let us. Is there anything that you can share at this point in time?
Yeah,
We're
we
moving,
keep getting
Chewy.
asked. Yeah, we keep getting asked that, and we're pushing for as soon as possible. We don't want to put a date out there and have to put it back at all, so we're really making sure to get all of our ducks in a row before we release that. And so we're not going to release that just yet, but a release date is coming imminently.
Weeks, not months.
Weeks, not months. Wow, you heard it here first.
Weeks, not months.
Um. Okay, so Keymaster was asking, I see up to 672% APY in Discord, which converts to 205% APR, which they assume is the glory bonding yield. Will Gladiator be about 68% APR also then?
Yeah, so what they're seeing is sort of leftover from the elephant money. So our APR and our APY could be much more. It could be slightly less. But again, that's going to be determined on that first day when we have those numbers to evaluate. And then we'll start putting them out there very actively and updating those to the community. As well as in the white paper, you'll see exactly how those can change over time. You'll be able to calculate it for yourself if you'd like.
Okay.
And one other thing on that, with the APR rate, we've seen a lot of comments to Elephant Money about their APR rate being 206%, I believe, and but the actual calculation would be double your money because you don't get your initial back, so you wouldn't be tripling. It wouldn't be 200%; it would only be 100%, and that's what really got us looking into that portion of the project deeper, and that's when we thought, okay, maybe we can do something better here, and that's why we're going with the route that we're going.
Right. That makes sense.
Okay.
Will there be a referral system?
For
Great
what?
question. Yeah, so that's a great question. A referral system is not something that we're launching an MVP just because we're really focused on the components that are absolutely necessary to have the entire ecosystem work from the get-go, including the DAO, which is important to us. And sort of like I was talking about earlier, I mean, we're very focused on our community being used not just to grow the community, but to actually ensure the profitability of the project in general. So we'll be using the community slightly differently. Right now, we don't have a referral program that we'll be launching with. But again, we do have a ton of tokens that are separated to be airdropping people, and maybe we'll tie those pieces together coming up shortly.
Yeah,
Okay.
we definitely see the benefit to that, Chewy, and it's something that's on our mind. But yeah, we want to build a quality product, and that would be in addition to the quality product.
Gotcha. Okay. So which token would get the treasury distributions after 10 years? Would it be Spear or would it be Gladiator?
It will be Spear token. So The Spear token holders is what the treasury is distributed to at the end of the timeline.
Okay. Archie's asking, what are the sources of revenue to keep growing the treasury? If you can just do it in a quick summary.
Absolutely. So initially, it will be investments in pre-established companies that are launching Web3 versions. The reason why we chose this is we've been working with and sort of on the back end prepping a number of these companies to put in on the community as the first potential investees. And pre-established companies that have that are not going to run away. They're all real people running real businesses, making real money currently, that are just looking for an investment to get their sort of decentralized Web3 side of the product up and out there. And so we'll be starting with that and investing in exchange for pre-minted tokens. And then we'll be helping them to actually launch their Web3 platforms properly and helping them to grow their initial community, helping with the initial groundswell, all of the efforts that it takes to get something like that off the ground. And then we'll be able to, as they're set up and established, slowly back away and exit.
Right. Okay. Pizza Paladin, security question, is there going to be a multi-sig setup? Are there any known or trusted community members that's going to be on this multi-sig if there is?
Yeah, so that's something that we've discussed a lot and something that is sort of one of the final pieces that we're starting to, on the security front, as we start to do testing and sort of are taking a second look and really reviewing the final security protocols with everything that we're doing. That's something that we're looking into right now. And that's part of the reason why we haven't launched yet, because we haven't finished working in pieces like that or evaluating pieces like that.
Right.
So
And we know the guy. We know the guy that that has access to those wallets, and we know where he lives. So,
so basically, yeah, it's good. It's good to know that you guys are working on it, and then we'll wait to hear the announcement for those things for the multi-sig. Just to clarify again, what is the difference between the Arena Master role and Alpha Gladiator on the Discord?
yeah. So the difference between those two roles, the Alpha Gladiator role was for the first 100 members, and that was just to reward our early supporters. We're big on, if you're giving us your support from our beginning, we truly appreciate that. And our community, I mean, we can't say thank you enough, and for you guys for reaching out to us, but I won't deviate too much. And then, so yes, Alpha Gladiators, first 100 to join the Discord. Arena Masters, we started out with 20 Arena Masters, and those 20 people were the first people that sent out 10 invites, got those invites accepted, and brought 10 people into the Discord. And the Arena Master role, that's going to continue to grow. And we want people to earn those spots, and people are they're going above and beyond to earn those spots, and like bringing games to Discord and stuff like that. Just something that's going to benefit everyone in the community. But yeah, so those spots, there will be more events to earn those spots, and we will be releasing those in the coming days. I guess a good way to step up right now for an Arena Master spot would be go to the join the team tab. Yes, join the team tab. Let us know that you want to be in the Shill Army, and we're doing tryouts for the Shill Army. Basically, we want that to be an elite group, and I mean, these guys they're reaching out to influencers. They're bringing a lot of connections to Spear Finance. They're really doing great for us. So that's one big spot. And if you're, I guess, pulling your weight, or if you're adding value with the Shill Army, then that's going to earn you a whitelist spot too. But yeah, anything unique, anything creative, please bring that up with us, and we're more than happy to hear ideas. And if you can help grow the ecosystem, we want you to be an Arena Master.
Did you ever think about calling it the Shill Wall, like a shield wall?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking
To
about,
answer that,
right?
no, we did not think of that.
All right.
I do. That's good, Caraway.
We're gonna have to get back to the branding drawing board. We'll get back to you.
After that,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay, just a couple more questions, and then I'll pass the time back to Caraway. I hope that answers your question as well. OX Beyonce, on how to get your whitelist. From Thanos, if keeping stable coins give rewards in Spear Coin, what will make Spear Coin a good option to buy? You know, what are your thoughts for this dilution?
Sorry, would you mind saying that again?
Yeah, if keeping stable coins gives rewards in Spear Coin, what will make Spear Coin a good option to buy?
Got it. So, Spearcoin is a good option to buy if you want to benefit from positive price action and you're a little bit more risk tolerant, right? Because with the opportunity for gain also comes a little bit more risk. So I would say the stablecoin is really good if you're really dabbling your toes into the water. You want to hold something that will be stable while still receiving rewards. And Spearcoin is better for someone who wants to grow a little bit faster and wants to benefit from some of that price action that we expect.
Right. We have a audience question. I'm just gonna try to invite Buffy up.
Crypto Dreams is going to be first.
Oh, okay. All right, let me mute her.
Okay.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, thank you for the time. Hello, Tim. Greeting from Indonesia. So, I'm a newbie at this project. So usually I go to NFT. So my question are first, after we get the whitelist, I mean, it will be airdrop, right? And then is there any requirement for us to prepare the money to deposit in our wallet? And then the second is how the mechanism of the reward will run, and it will goes for how long? So I think it's enough. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, and thank you for the question, Crypto Dreams, and welcome from Indonesia. Just to clarify, so the first part of that question, you brought up the whitelist and preparing money for the wallet. Can you ask that question one more time, please?
Okay. I mean, usually we have to NFT. We have to buy like a minting price or anything. So after we get a whitelist, so is there any requirement for us to maybe buy a kind of token or something?
Okay, I think I understand your question now. So whitelist, it's not a whitelist in the traditional sense. So our whitelist members are going to be airdropped a portion of tokens after launch, and yes, with not tanking the price of Spear in mind, you know that's a major concern of ours. So just do it in a way that's do it in a smart way, I guess. If that does that answer that part of the question?
Okay, so there is no any requirement for that. So if we eligible to go to get the whitelist, so we will get the airdrop, drop the
Yes,
wallet.
exactly. Yes, and yeah, we'll be collecting wallet addresses from the whitelisted individuals, and then those addresses will be airdropped. Yes,
Okay, sure. Okay.
and then the second part of your question was mechanisms. Reward mechanisms for holding Spear in your wallet. Is that what you were getting at?
Yep.
Okay. And Tony, you could take this one, or I could take it too. It's
Go
based
ahead.
on the
So I don't know if I understood the question though. Would you mind stating it?
Okay. I mean, how is the mechanism of the reward? I mean, the auto compound interest and everything. So after we get the airdrop, it will be there is an option to be locked, or it's automatically locked, or how the way it
Got
goes,
it.
and then how the reward it goes. So thank you.
Got it. Yeah. So you're asking if you're in the whitelist, once it's airdropped to you, is it locked or how does that work, basically? Yeah. So that is part of what we're not releasing yet about how our whitelist airdrop will work yet. That will be released. I mean, obviously before those airdrops, but we're not releasing that quite yet.
And Crypto Dreams, just to describe a little bit, like if you were holding Sphere tokens in your wallet, so on every transaction, on every buy, sell, and transfer, there's a 10% fee. 5% of that goes to holders of Sphere tokens, so that automatically is distributed to your wallet, and then 5% of that goes to liquidity. So I hope that helps clear up. I think you were asking a little bit about that piece too.
Sure. There's a lot.
Okay.
Sure.
Thanks for your questions. Did you have anything else?
I think that's enough. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you,
Great,
Crypto
thank you.
Okay.
Dreams.
Thank you.
Buffy, go ahead and if you're ready, go ahead and take the mic.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Hey,
Yeah.
Buffy.
Running loud.
Loud and clear.
Okay, great. First, thank you for bringing such a unique project together. This is very intriguing to me. So I'm so interested in getting in on this. Hopefully, this is an easy question for you. I think it will be. Why did you choose AVAX for
Why
Sphere?
did we choose AVAX? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why would we choose anything else, Buffy? That's my answer. I mean, AVAX is great. You know, it's great with the transfer fee, with the low transaction cost. It's a growing chain. I mean, it's a hot chain right now, and I think we all personally love AVAX, and that definitely went into it as well. But yeah,
Great.
AVAX
Yes.
over everything.
I agree completely, and I don't think you can go wrong with this one. So, yeah, I just was
Definitely.
curious to hear your thoughts on that, and yeah, I'm excited and looking forward to seeing what you guys bring forward. Thank you.
Great. Looking forward to speaking with you and seeing you in the community. Thanks, Buffy.
Sounds great.
Thank you for that, Buffy. Somebody asked, why didn't you do 300 whitelist like the movie 300? It's a fair question.
Because those are Spartans.
Thanos says, on the last day, I assume he means of the 10-year cycle. What about the people that are holding? I mean, what's going to happen on the last day?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically and there's a couple options right now. And to be very clear, we're really outlining a couple ways that this could work. And then the DAO, the community, is going to decide on the final way that they would like it distributed. So whether the DAO decides, okay, on the last day, we want the entire treasury to be airdropped to our wallets, in the proportions we own Sphere, or whether we want to have an automated buyback of tokens from the treasury, or we want to give people those options. We're really outlining all the possible ways that could go, and then we're going to put that in the hands of the community to make that final decision. So part of that is to be determined, but there's a couple options on how that could work.
I think that Thanos. Are you happy with that? Oh, look, Valar says, is it possible for me to get a flat logo file for Spear Finance? I want to create some art for the project. How about that?
Yes. Hard
So,
yes.
yeah,
Can you send me a friend request, please?
There you go. I think we are wrapping this up. We will take any more questions from the audience. And if you want to raise your hand, go ahead. This is a question that I like to ask people, and maybe X or Marbles could chime in. What was the last DeFi project that you invested in, and why?
Colt DAO. I liked the project, and it did really good for me. Just the whole decentralization government, like not own kind of thing, how DeFi originally was kind of drawn to me initially, and then it ended up doing really good. And I think our whole team actually invested in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
call, X.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome, good answer. Let's see, so we've got some more questions rolling in. This person says, what's the term horizon? I mean, okay. DeFi Me, we're going to have this on YouTube. And a lot of you may be wondering like why I'm not asking your questions, and it is only because they were asked earlier. So we're going to have this on YouTube, tonight. I want to thank everybody for being here. Before anybody goes, though, remember 50% off. We normally do one AVAX a month here at Fear versus Greed. Today only, if you are in the Spear Finance group and my group, it's half an AVAX for the rest of the month. Polar, do you want to make some closing remarks?
Yeah, I just want to thank you so much for having us on here today, Carway and Chewy. Thank you for reaching out, Chewy. I mean, you reached out. I think it was the first day. You were very early, so thank you for the opportunity for bringing us here, and thank you for everyone that stepped up and asked questions, and everyone helping out with the community. We really appreciate this opportunity, and everyone who's here today.
And definitely ditto that. And I'd like to add that I think that given how early we are, I mean, our white paper is not even out. It can be definitely a challenge to hang on some of this thing. And I think the questions were really excellent. And it really makes me excited to be able to send all of you the white paper and actually launch and get you all the details. But really impressive, especially just given how early stages this is.
Just to speak
Thank
to
you.
the first point, thank you guys for coming here. We're honored. We really, really are. We are so happy that you brought such a large team with you to answer these questions, and I think the audience feels pretty good too. I think we've asked every single question, and this is basically the last chance for audience members. Like I said in the chat, if we missed it, ask again. This person says, what info can you give about forming alliances?
Yeah, I could answer that one. That's going to be our partnership program that we release in the near future. And also maybe we link it to a referral or affiliate marketing kind of program now too.
Okay, cool. Well, if there's nothing else, does Tony, Marbles, anybody want to wind this down wind it down, wrap it up, land the plane, flatten it out, put bookends on it?
I think the last thing to do is basically just join Fear versus Greed at this point,
Oh, you have to. I mean, if you're a developer, you have to join.
Yeah.
It's a spreadsheet that is actually a living history of this DeFi space. Someday, years from now, people are going to make a documentary about this, the early days of DeFi, and they're going to be using my spreadsheet. I mean, there's no doubt about it. There's nothing like it in this space. Most of the spreadsheets that are out there have 1%. They have like 6 projects on it or something like that. I mean, 1%'s a little low, but most of them don't have more than 10 projects on it. People start these spreadsheets and they don't commit. We are adding that many every single day. It's something we're really proud of.
And you said you're up to 400 projects now?
We are up to 485, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Wow, that's really impressive. Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you. We've got everything from
definitely.
Ring. We have other alpha groups. We have things like Anchor. We have GameFi. We have P2E. Anyway, I don't want to go on a rant, but it is half off. It's 0.5 AVAX today only for people from Spear.
Thank you for offering Spear community that discount, Careway.
So happy to do it for you guys. All right, let me take a look one last time at the audience questions. We're good, guys. I think that's a wrap. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. If you asked a question and you want to be considered for the whitelist, just hang around. I'll let the team go, but me and Chewy will go to I've already written down everybody who asked questions. We will go to a random number generator, and we'll announce those in just a few minutes.
Perfect. Thanks again, Caraway.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you so
guys.
much.
Thank you, guys.
Have a
Thank
great night.
You
Okay,
too.
you too.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming.
I'm gonna
All right.
go
Thanks,
ahead
Chewy.
and stop the recording.